Who is ready to start the best hour of their week? Yes! Ivan Devitt with the invocation.
Please join in prayer. Most Heavenly Father, we come to you today and we thank you for this day. We thank you, Father, for the rain. We thank you for the blessings and opportunities that you're bringing in. Father, we pray that you'd be with us and Rotarians around the world, that you'd show us how we can serve others better. We come to you now, Father, we ask that you bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies. Be with those who prepare it. We ask these things, Father, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Adam. Salute. Pledge. Let's have a quick Rotary minute. All right, if you want to make your way back to your seat. Our Sergeant at Arms today is Christy Wallace. And as you look around the room, you may not see her. She wrote down the wrong date, so she is going to get a giant fine. Charlie Wallace, did you hear that? Can you make sure she gets fined? Your wife wrote down today that she's supposed to be Sergeant at Arms, and she is not here. So make sure we take care of that. Thank you. Our Rotarian today is Leonard Francis. Would he like to say anything? You may bring the microphone to you. I can.
I'm just glad to be a Rotarian. I got a speech. My wife knows. Hopefully this isn't that long. Yeah.
Somebody start a timer. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay. Well, I'll start off with, I want to say I'm an Arkansas here. Born in Arkansas, in a little town called Charleston. I met my wife when I was 5 years old. But I didn't know she was going to be my wife. We were digging crawdads. Anyway, somewhere along the way after that, we met again on a band trip. The rest became history. We got married. And, year was 64, I guess it was. Anyway, we've had a great time together. We enjoy traveling. We do a lot of that in our motorhome. And we've seen all 50 states. One way or the other. We didn't go to Hawaii in the motorhome. But we wanted to. We had better accommodations. Anyway, Phillips Petroleum Company. My career, I stayed there. I was retired as controller and general tax officer. Enjoyed that time. And we moved over to the bank in 1998. Enjoyed every bit of it. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Let's give a big thank you to our caterer, Tim Burden. Our Students of the Month from last month got kind of shortchanged with the 2 snow days we had. So Ray Revis is invited here again. There she is picking up the buckets. And also Laird Thompson, and he is not here, but let's give him a big round of applause. If you did not hear, he won a wrestling state championship. So congratulations to him, pretty exciting. Our Students of the Month this month are Hannah McCrary, and she is not here, and Joseph Wong, if he wants to come on up here and introduce himself. We're excited to have you, and the floor is yours.
Hello, Rotary. My name is Joseph Wong, and I'm very honored to be here. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Student Month Selection Committee and the Grove Public Schools Administration, Mr. Dodson, Mr. Woods, as well as Mr. Bowers and parent. As you may remember, this is not actually my first time addressing Rotary. I have been here with my robotics team and demonstrated robots software, which you guys might be cool. And my fellow student of the month, Hannah McCrary, she's actually here today. She's in competition. She's actually a robotics teammate, and she does participating in robotics and being a student programmer is actually what inspired me to pursue my career. I want to pursue applied math and science. And currently, I am doing informal internship at Christian Tech. It develops different Christian chatbots for churches and mission work. So I'm particularly interested in the field, in the intersection of AI technology. Extracurricular activities. I captain the Grove High School academic team, and I hold officer positions in the National Society, National Technical Society. I also used to participate in the section band. And I also serve at Chinese Baptist Church in Tulsa. I'm up there in the ecosystem. Serve as their Chinese translator service. But my home church is, of course, Trinity Baptist Church. Robert, Evan, I used to play piano for session music. I don't play now. I will play for college. Some awards that I've been honored with. I've been named a U.S. Presidential Scholars Candidate. I am an All-Stater, AP Scholar with Distinction, and also for professional it's a coding job. Data analysis. I've also been honored with letters of commendation for my ACT score and national student from Senator Lindbergh. I haven't decided yet where I'm attending college, but I'm heavily considering U at the moment. Many college decisions are March, so I look forward to meeting you all, and I'm very excited to be here.
Great job. Finn's going to look at a picture of it. I'm always so impressed with these high schools. Pat, I don't know where you get these kiddos, but they're something else. It's just awesome. Guest with us today, with Diane Hampton, we have the Roger Mars. If you want to give a big wave back there for us, Roger. Shauna McWaters brought her husband. He didn't want to be announced, I don't think, so we'll just say Shauna McWaters' husband. And with our Student of the Month, we have Lena Wong, I believe. Is that correct? Perfect. Awesome. Thank you all for being here. And if you have an announcement, please make your way to the front. Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh, Clint's coming up here. We know what that means. Nicole, you want to go first? You're up here first. You going? Come on up.
So I've actually got two announcements. So I am the chair of the Choices program this year, and we are gearing up to present Choices at the Grove Middle School on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So if you were in that club and you were interested, please get with me after this. And then on the side note, for the Harbor Village Hat now, we open Saturday for our 2025 season, but Friday we're doing a members only day as well as free veteran and free spouse of the veteran to come in, because we are going to be launching a ribbon cutting of our new exhibit. It is a World War II exhibit that ties us with Liberty and Legacy Memorial Park out at Shangri-La. The exhibit pieces are tied back to the actual exhibits that they have, the big macro equipment out at the park, but these are the small pieces. And so we are doing this as a collaboration to bring focus on veterans, number one, but number two, that there are other areas in our community that you can look at these exhibits. And these are on loan by Paul Bolton, who is an author and a historian for World War II. So definitely come out and see that. That's at 11 o'clock. At 11:30, we will have Vietnam veteran Herb Adams. He will be there. He has an exhibition that's in our facility, and he'll be there for 2 months. And he'll be there to talk about his exhibition and his time over in Vietnam. So we'd love to see you.
Well, if it's March, it must be time for the spring workday at Lindenwood Gardens. So just to put it on your calendar right now, it's Saturday, March 29th at 8:30 in the morning. You can work as long as you want. Lunch is provided, but we'll have a sign-up sheet next meeting. So hope to see you there.
Well, yes, it is March. And this Friday, we will have 200 anglers all over the United States here at Wolf Creek Park, and they're college students, the Major League Fishing College Tournament. We need help. 5 a.m. at Wolf Creek Park. Guys, ladies, men that have been there, it's pretty spectacular to see it. We can get these guys in pretty quick. So if you're part of the team, you know the routine. If you're not, come on down at 5 a.m. to Wolf Creek Park, and we'll definitely put you to work. We need a handful of people for takeout later in the afternoon. The big event is on Friday morning, 5 a.m., Wolf Creek Park. What's that?
You better be there.
I will be there. I will be there early.
Okay, the book fair at the lower elementary starts on Friday. We need volunteers for next week. Still need about 4 volunteers if you're interested. So please, I've got a sign-up sheet in the back if you don't mind, if you'd like to help. It's a really great experience. It only takes a couple hours, and kids love it. So sign up. I'll send out an email, let you know if you've never done it before, you know where to go, what time, and everything. So we could use some help. Thank you.
Well, today is Ash Wednesday, the beginning of the Lenten season in the church calendar, and I have a couple of folks out in the east part of our parking lot who are doing Ashes to Go. So if your community doesn't practice that and would like to participate, it is open to the community. You just kind of drive through, they'll implement the ashes on your forehead as you contemplate our journey to the cross Easter. And if you'd like to have a prayer, they'll be there to pray for you as well. We'll be doing that from 11.
All right, without further ado, I'd like to have Keith Martin and Josh Fink with Orizon come on up. If you guys are ready. Dun, dun, dun. Round of applause. We're excited to learn about all these new great things happening at Orizon. So, Josh, here you go.
We'll do a quick introduction here. So, I moved to Grove about 8 years ago, actually to help implement, I'll say, all the equipment that we brought in at Orizon. So I spent about a month in Germany with the company that built a lot of the equipment. And about right after that, my family moved here. And during that, I'll say that first month that we were here, when I met Keith, and Keith's been a part of that organization for a long time and has been really instrumental in helping me and my family kind of get integrated to the community. And so our family loves it here, call this home, and but I'll let Keith introduce himself.
I am Keith Martin. I moved to Grove. I'm blessed to raise my family here in Grove. Love it here. I'm a church here. Talking with friends. Glad to be part of precision machine manufacturing. Spent about 45 years here in Grove. Really happy to be part of Verizon. Josh, all the hard work. So I'm glad to be here today. Look forward to you all learning more about it.
All right, so we share a lot of presentations, and Keith was reminding me, I think when he sent it to Jamie, it was too big, so I'll try to go fast. We've got a lot to cover, but in the aerospace industry, quality it starts with everything. Everything that we do starts with quality first. And over the last several years, if you pay attention to the news, Boeing's been in the news a lot because of a lot of quality issues. There's been quality problems there at Spirit Aerosystems, and we start off every meeting talking about quality and safety. Those are like the tenets of our culture. Everything that we touch goes into a commercial aircraft, a military aircraft. We've got a lot of things in space that we'll kind of share with you. So it is critical, and we put a lot of investment in technology that helps us with quality. And there's a lot of things up on the screen, but a lot of the equipment that we have, 5, 6-axis machines, we manufacture large monolithic bulkheads. We do a lot of fuel cell panels. We do things on different missile systems, and so we invest a lot in technology of equipment and maintaining that equipment. But I'm happy to answer some questions, but to try to keep things moving. If you have any questions about what you see up here, I'm happy to talk about some of the technology that we've invested in over the last several years to really keep quality first within our culture. So we have really 4 focus factories. Of course, the one here in Grove, we've got a little over 200,000 square feet. I think we're close to 130 employees today, and we really focus on large monolithic 5, 6-axis machining. The F-35 is our biggest platform out of our Grove facility. But we've taken on some new projects recently where we're working with Amazon on their Project Kuiper program and building all the large decks and panels for that satellite program. That's a lot of the investment that you may have heard about that we're doing recently is related to that. We've also just signed a new contract with Boeing on the Harpoon missile system, and I think if you look at what's going on in the world today, they have developed a new program called the Harpoon Coastal Defense System, and that's largely going to Taiwan. And so we build the fuel cells, the fuel tanks for that missile system, and that we'll talk about some equipment that we've got. It's actually here that we're working on this year. The second building there is our Olathe campus in the Kansas City area. We focus largely on commercial aerospace products out of that facility. And then we do some large hard metal components for the CH-53K helicopter. Then I'll say on the bottom left, that's our Chinook, Kansas facility. So we do chemical process, painting, and then large assembly work. So everything that we machine here at Grove goes there for processing paint. Then it floats across into assembly, goes into a large assembly, and those assemblies will go to Lockheed, Northrop, Boeing, kind of wherever that end destination is. We're an integrated company. We're all on one ERP system. So all of our, I'll say our transactions happen in those ERP systems pretty seamlessly to really kind of streamline our processes. Organically grown. So this is, in our world, there's been a lot of mergers and acquisitions, and it's actually kind of taken a toll on a lot of manufacturers. Our company is largely, we purchase precision machine here in Grove, but other than that, we've started all these other facilities up. And so a lot of this, we've got good customer relationships. Again, it starts with quality. Our customers trust us, they like our products, and we've been able to grow that. Just keep it here. So the picture, I'll say on the top left, that's one of our CNC programmers. We use multiple softwares, but we use CATIA, Siemens NX primarily for our design and programming softwares, and we're currently working on, so I'll call it an AI process to recognize part geometry and be able to apply cutters and tool path to recognize the geometry and how we cut that geometry. So there's quite a bit we've got going on there. The picture on the top right, that's a bulkhead for the F-35 aircraft. We manufacture 8 of these bulkheads for that platform, and we're actually in talks with Lockheed right now about getting additional components there. So that, you see the big circle in the middle, that's actually a little over 7 feet in diameter. And that is where the engine for the F-35 slides into that aircraft. And we build all but 2 of the bulkheads for that plane today. And they're all machined here in Grove and go to Chinook for processing and assembly. Those start, I'll say, the assembly line for the F-35. So that assembly line doesn't move without those bulkheads. And we've had a lot of people from Lockheed in, and they make sure that we know that. So it's a pretty important component there. Picture on the bottom left, that's one of our chemical tank lines in Chinook. So everything, most of the things I'll say that we make are aluminum, and for paint to adhere, they need to go through like a chemical process to get that paint to adhere properly. And then on the bottom right, that is the one of our largest assemblies. That's section 11 for the 737 MAX program. So if you think about a 737 aircraft, what you kind of see in the middle, that's the main fuel tank for the aircraft. And on the outsides of that would be where your wings join on the fuselage. So that's I don't know the dimensions off the top of my head, but it's a very large assembly. A little bit closer to you there. I guess that kind of gives you a little bit of a scale when you see it. We load those up, one on a semi truck when they finish up, so it gives you a bit of scale. Lockheed Martin, Spirit Aerosystems, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, Parker, Eaton. I mean, those are some of our largest customers. We've got a little over $4 billion of backlog today. And with, I should say Amazon, I don't even know if I put them up there, but Amazon's one of our currently largest growing customers in the space market. There's a lot going on the space side of things. So for our Grove facility, kind of gave a high level earlier. Keep moving. Just to show a few more of the products that we make here. So we've got another one of the bulkheads there on the left. In the center, if you're familiar with the F-35 program, they have what's called a Stovall variant, which can take off vertically and can land vertically. This bulkhead is actually the bulkhead that holds that main fan assembly for the vertical takeoff. So it's a pretty cool component. We've actually been at Lockheed to see how these all install, and pretty neat to be a part of. And then the picture on the right hand is that's a wing skin for the Honda Jet. So it may have been about a year ago, probably. We had a big meeting with Honda, and they actually flew 2 of these Honda Jets into the Grove Airport to meet with us. So it was pretty neat, and we were able to take a lot of the guys out of the shop. We went and met them at the airport, and the guys that have been building these parts from the beginning, got some pictures with the plane, and so anyway, pretty neat to be a part of. And then on the bottom left hand, so everything that we manufacture, we have to have fixtures to be able to hold it in the machine as we machine it. And so that's probably one of the biggest challenges we have, is how do you hold these parts to be able to machine it, hold the tolerances. For instance, the bulkhead that you see on the top left, that's 7 feet in diameter, about 9.5 feet in length. There are tooling holes that this mates up on with assembly jigs. We've got to hold a 4,000ths true position at about that, a little over 8 feet in distance. So every degree of temperature change that you have over 10 feet, you get about a thousandths of growth. And so you think about holding a 4,000ths true position, you've got ±2, that's less than the diameter of a hair on your head. And so as trying to hold those tolerances, this tooling is critical. And we have engineers that design this tooling. We build everything in-house. And this is pretty proprietary in what we do. And it's also a thing that really sets us apart, I'll say, on the quality side of things. So recently, we have brought a lot of equipment to the Grove facility. I would say over the last, probably started in about December, I guess. So since December, we have brought in 2 of these Grove 550s. These are a 5-axis machine. You kind of see the picture on the top right. We have brought in 2 Mazak Vortexes. All of these are 5-axis pieces of equipment. We've got an SNK FSP, so that's a hard metal machine that we're doing some work for the Triton Global Hawk program. That's a drone system that we do quite a bit of work for. That goes to Northrop Grumman. And then 2 of our newest projects, the Multus U5000 you see on the bottom, that's for the new Boeing contract for the Harpoon missile systems. And then the MAG-3 that you see on the bottom right, we're actually trying to get a PO out on that today. I've been all over Keith about it all morning. So, but that machine's coming in to help support some of the Amazon work that we've got going on. But we've done pretty much all of this within the last 3 months. And we run 24/7. The plant's shut down 7 days out of the year. And, so it's, we're staffing up all this equipment as we speak. So we've got a lot of new people coming into the plant, a lot of training going on today. One of our biggest projects is our EcoSpeed cell. So if you ever get a chance to come tour, which we need to set that up, I've had a couple people ask, we'd be happy to do that. You'll walk in and you'll see an EcoSpeed cell. We've got 9 machines currently today in this cell system, and we are 100% full. We're trying to figure out how we gain a little bit more capacity in this cell, and we're continuing to win work. So we've got some good problems we're trying to solve today. But like I said, we've got 9 machines. We can add 5 more within the footprint that we have, and really kind of the next steps where we plan to take the facility. We've talked about some of these products, but on the 737 MAX, you can see all the content that we manufacture. So there's the Section 11 kind of there in the center of that aircraft. Currently, Grove manufactures some of the fuel cell panels, and then later this year, all the floor beams. We'll be ramping up on all the floor beams for that program. And you can kind of see that assembly. We've got some GEMCOR automatic riveters. So they're going to drill, countersink, and fasten kind of all in one shot. So if you kind of think back, my grandfather is actually the one that got me into this business. So when he used to build airplanes, everything was done by hand. And so you're going to have a guy drilling, countersinking, a bucking bar. And today most of that's all automated. I've been able to bring him into some of the plants, and he looks at it and he's like, "You guys don't even know what you're doing anymore." So this go to the slide. So this is the hinge and latch beams for the 737 MAX. These are actually known as the most complex parts in the commercial aerospace world. We have 100% rate of these. We manufacture these in our Latham facility. We've got 15 machines basically dedicated to core part numbers. Very complex, but like I said, we've got a lot of confidence from our customers. But if you've ever been on a 737 and you get to sit by a wing, as you're landing, these are what the sliders for the thrust. You're going to see that open up, and if you're kind of know what you're looking for, but if you look in there, you'll actually see all the product that we manufacture for these hinge latches when you're landing on one of those aircraft. F-35, everything that you see here on the F-35, we manufacture. And I'd say about 90% of that is manufactured in Grove. So we've had the opportunity to be at Lockheed quite a bit just because of the content that we own on that aircraft. And it's really neat to see. So from, forward to aft, as you walk through that assembly line, it's Orizon aerostructure kind of all throughout that plant. We're really proud to be a part of that. These are so Grove's gonna, I'll say, manufacture the components. Chinook's gonna assemble them. So what you see here, these are some of our major assemblies. So the picture on the top left, that is the center fuel section of the F-35. I think in that assembly, there's like all but 4 parts are manufactured in Grove. That gives you just kind of an idea there. But those are, just call them 6 feet by 6 feet panels. And a lot of that aluminum starts off 6 to 8 inches thick. So we may be 3,000 pounds-ish when we start. These things weigh probably less than 80 when we're done. So there's a lot of metal out. Just some more F-35 assembly work that we do. This is the CH-53K program. So you get a little bit of scale on the bottom left there, but those are about 10 feet long and 3 feet wide, just the C-frames. That whole assembly, you end up being about close to a little over 6 feet wide, 10 feet long. Once we machine all the details, they get processed, we assemble it. This one's a little unique. This houses, if you will, the rotor assembly for the helicopter. So basically, the entire helicopter is hanging off of this assembly. And so there's some really precision bores that we do to locate rotors. So it's a pretty neat assembly that we do. We manufacture the 777X AFCAL assemblies. So these would be, if you think about the cowling around an engine, these are what swing up so you get access to that engine. So we do that for the 777X program. And then one of the newer aircrafts that they're working on is the T-78 trainer. This is the new 5th gen fighter trainer aircraft that they're coming out with. And as you can see there, that's all the product that we manufacture on that program. So we own a lot of content on quite a few of these aircraft. And then this is the Boeing Harpoon fuel tank and assembly. And we're pretty excited about this one. And really just starting to ramp up. We've got new machine in and installed. We have people there working on it this week and hope to be in production here in just a week. On the space side, Blue Origin, we manufacture the spars and the ribs for the strake. That strake's about 60 feet long, and I don't know if any of you watched the launch the other day, but it was bittersweet. They didn't land it. So these go on the stage 1 of the rocket, which should return and land. It didn't land, which means that we're making more strength. So, but they'll get that figured out. And then on the Project Kuiper side, we kind of talked about some of the decks and panels, but this is a really cool program. They need to launch 1,600 satellites by next June. And we so far have built, I think, around 350 shipsets. And so that timeline's coming fast. But they're on contract, I'll say, to launch 3,200 satellites. But the way this works, you can't miss a launch. So if you miss a launch, you're paying for it anyway. So there's a lot of pressure to get this ramped up. But we're working closely with Amazon on this. It's really a brand new program. All right, I went as fast as I could, Nick.
Got a couple questions for you. First, what's your employment in Grove, and is that growing? And the second one is with, you mentioned that you mostly work with aluminum. So with the potential 25% tariffs on aluminum coming, how do you see that affecting your business and your margins?
Sure. Yes, we're at about 130 people in Grove today, and that is growing. We're trying to staff for about 8 new pieces of equipment. So that's another probably 20 people that we're looking for today. And then with what we've got going on with Amazon, and Harpoon, there's other projects that are in the works that's going to continue to increase that. And then on the tariff side, that's definitely something we're talking about, and I can't tell you what that impact's going to be. Fortunately, we at least have locked in contracts on, like, we secure certain tonnage, and we're a couple years out on that tonnage. start renegotiating some of that middle of this year. We may kick that can down the road though and let some of that settle out, but not huge concerns today.
On those same lines, do you have any data that shows overall impact?
I do not, but I would guess that someone in our corporate group has that.
I'm curious about logistics, not just here in Grove, but with your total operation. So it's train, or how do you get these tools going and manufacturing facilities?
Yeah, all the above. So we have a truck milk run every day that hits every facility. That's taking product, I'll say, to Chanute, to customers. So that happens every day. Some of like the Section 11, that is by truck now. They want to turn that into rail. We do have a rail spur right behind the facility, but we have not started doing anything by rail.
Over here, obviously you do a lot of inter-facility communication. How do you mitigate the risk of being hacked?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are, I'll say, a lot of new standards coming. There's been a NIST standard that we've worked to, I'll say for the past probably 5 years, that I'll say those standards are going to be like, how do we set up firewalls? How do we set up and manage our security? And so we've got an IT team that's really dedicated to just cybersecurity and internal security. There's a new requirement today called CMMC that's being rolled out. So, for example, all of our military contracts, these are requirements within that contract. Our company, I would say, is, I don't know that I could say leading, but we're pretty well advanced as far as how we're managing that security. Our customers come audit us, the government comes and audits us, and we've had some pretty good feedback. Yeah, we've experienced some issues in the past, so it's definitely something we take.
Yeah, I was wondering, since you have some very large raw materials coming in, and after it's tooled, significant percentage of the weight is excess. What kind of recycling program do you have on the, I assume, largely aluminum?
Yep. So we work with Rogers Metals, and we have a couple different programs on our EcoSpeed cell. It's roughly 40,000 pounds a week of chips that we're selling back, and then we'll do those, and those are dry chips. So we just blow those into the back of a semi-trailer. They come up, hook up to it, put a new one in. Then on like our wet chips that have coolant in them, we use what's called a puck machine, and we compact those into a puck, and then we sell those pucks kind of the same way. But yeah, it's a significant amount of chips and a whole process wrapped around how we can.
How much of your workforce comes from the local labor force, and how much has to be brought in because the skill levels are not here?
Yeah, I think, I don't know the exact number, but the majority are local. We don't have very many here that are, driving very far. We do have I'll say like a corporate engineering group that I'm responsible for, that I'm pulling engineering resources, quite a large range, but the majority of our talent is.
Anyone else?
Josh and Keith a big round of applause.
All right, thank you for having us out. Appreciate being here.
Exciting. Lots of great things happening here. Appreciate it, Josh.
When?
I'll get a sign-up sheet.
There you go.
Don't put him on the spot.
We'll figure something out. There's times, yeah. I sign us up for things and, our HR people that take care of it are asking me like, what were you thinking?
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. Let's give him another round of applause. I don't know if Kim and Timberdin's here. Let's give another round of applause to Kim and Timberdin for catering today. And then we're going to pick up all the blue chairs, stack them 8 high, and we're going to put out 7 metal chairs. If everybody wants to stand with me with a 4-way test. And all the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth?